Welcome into the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I am your host, Jay Senior. I hope all of you in the Niner gang are having a fantastic week. Massive game coming up this weekend at home, Levi Stadium in Santa Clara against the Arizona Cardinals, 4:25 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Before we get into this 49ers-Cardinals preview, start flooding the comment section right now and predict the score for Sunday's game between the 7-1 Arizona Cardinals and the 3-4 49ers. Get those score predictions in the comment section right now. Before we get to this 49ers-Cardinals preview, I do want to run through the 49ers injury report because there's a lot of positive developments going on with some of the injuries that have taken place with this football team over the last couple of weeks. We also have a Kyler Murray injury update coming your way as well, and later on I'll give you my keys for the game. This is going to be a little while, so let's get you updated with the latest 49ers injury report. Elijah Mitchell coming off back-to-back great games against the Colts as well as the Chicago Bears, back-to-back career games. Going to be limited all week because of a rib injury. He should be good to go in this game on Sunday. Trent Williams should be able to play as well. He's dealing with two ailments, an elbow injury as well as an ankle injury. Deebo Samuel was a limited participant in practice last week. Didn't stop him from having another 150-yard receiving game. Looked pretty damn good on that 83-yard catch-and-run scamper. He's going to be limited this week with that hamstring ailment too. Jimmy Ward, Kyle Shanahan had said after the game, really concerned with that quad injury, but this is going to potentially be a week or two injury. He's got an outside chance of playing on Sunday against Arizona. Kai Nacua, on the other hand, it's going to be a few weeks for him because he suffered a hamstring injury. And then D Ford, Azeez, Al-Shaair, they could play, did not play against the Chicago Bears because they both suffered concussions against the Indianapolis Colts. If they're able to play, great news for this Niners defense that's going to have its hands full against a very talented and explosive Arizona Cardinals offense. George Kittle, the practice window for him has been open, so he can now practice as his IR stint is going to come to a close. Former kicker now, Joey Sly, was released by San Francisco on Tuesday. Robbie Gould's practice window has opened. All signs point to him being the kicker on Sunday because they would not release Joey Sly if that was not the case as he recovers from a groin injury. Jeff Wilson, the practice window for him has opened as well, but don't expect to see him against Arizona coming off that knee injury that he suffered early on in the offseason. As for Dre Greenlaw, after that game against the Detroit Lions in Week 1, underwent groin surgery. He did have that pick six against Jared Goff and Detroit. He may be involved in practice on Wednesday. Not sure what his status is going to be for game time on Sunday. Something we'll continue to monitor, and of course, we'll keep you updated here on the 49ers Report. As for Kyler Murray, his health status, a little bit of a question, and Cliff Kingsbury keeping this a little bit close to the vest. During his press conference yesterday, he had talked about Kyler Murray's status after he suffered an ankle injury at the end of that Thursday Night Football loss against the Green Bay Packers, which really was a terrific game. Here's what ArizonaCardinals.com had to say about Murray's ankle injury. The question of Kyler Murray's availability for the game against the Niners was not answered on Monday, and it likely won't be answered until later in the week. Coach Cliff Kingsbury said Monday that Murray is still progressing with the ankle injury and that the weekend off helped his recovery process. So Kingsbury called Murray day-to-day as the Cardinals prepare for their divisional matchup on Sunday in San Francisco. The direct quote from Cliff Kingsbury, quote, "I don't want to look ahead on that deal. We'll see how he feels on Wednesday." Coach speak right there, right? Because he doesn't want to give a competitive advantage to the San Francisco 49ers. Speaking of competitive advantages, the Cardinals have had that oftentimes throughout the 2021 season because Kyler Murray is a legitimate MVP candidate. He's completing almost 73% of his passes. He's also throwing for around 285 yards per game. This doesn't even account for how much of a threat he is on the ground, even though he only had one rushing yard against San Francisco back in Week 5 prior to the bye week. Average yards per completion of 8.9 and a combined 17 touchdowns so far this season. It's a big reason why Kyler Murray is a bona fide MVP candidate, and ever since he got drafted, number one out of Oklahoma, he has never missed an NFL start or never missed an NFL game. And I'll tell you this, hopefully the injury gods are able to side with San Francisco because, as we know, over the last several years, the injury regards have not been kind to this 49ers franchise. And it would be a massive, massive drop-up for the 49ers defense as well as the Cardinals offense if you go from Kyler Murray to Colt McCoy, who is right now their current backup quarterback. The whole evolution, the whole explosiveness of that Arizona Cardinals offense changes when you go from a dual threat quarterback who can make ridiculous plays, one-of-one plays, as myself and producer Marshall Green call him, because Kyler Murray just simply does shit that we never seen before, and you go from that to a player like Colt McCoy. So as we continue to preview this game, I do want to ask you this. I want to see how the Niner gang is feeling about this massive, massive matchup. I'm not going to call it a must-win, but it is of significant importance for the Niners to come out with a dub. Will the 49ers pull off the upset on Sunday in front of the home crowd at Levi Stadium, where they've been awful the last couple of years? Type U for upset, type L for loss. Once again, get those predictions in the comment section right now. The 49ers report is presented to you by our sportsbook partner, BetUS. By signing up using that link, chatsports.com/49bet, as well as that promo code Niners125, you get a 125% deposit bonus, which means you put $100 into your account, you get an additional $125 back where you can lay down some bets with. And if you do that, we will send you a free San Francisco 49ers jersey if you do deposit $100 into your account using that link as well as that promo code. So here are all the steps on your screen so that we can send you a free 49ers jersey, because we're real ones here at Chat Sports. Go to chatsports.com/49bet. Enter the promo code Niners125. Sign up, deposit $100, make a bet on anything you want. You get that 125% deposit back. Then email us, jersey@chatsports.com, letting us know that you followed all of those steps. The jerseys we have available in all sizes and colors right now include these three jerseys: Nick Bosa, Trey Lance, and George Kittle. So you have one of the best edge rushers in the game. You can get his jersey for free. The future of the franchise in Trey Lance, that white looking real crispy, and one of the best tight ends in the league in George Kittle. Once again, follow all of those steps and email us, jersey@chatsports.com, for that jersey deal. We'll be sure to hook you up. Some of my keys to the game for the Niners to pull out this victory. Jimmy Garoppolo has to play like he did against the Chicago Bears, in which he turned in, by far and away, his best performance of the season. 17 of 28, 328 yards, no interceptions, and he was able to display his running ability on those design running touchdowns as the Niners got close to the goal line. I don't know if it was because he was feeling the pressure from the fan base and NFL critics who were saying Jimmy Garoppolo has been pretty average to borderline bad, or because he had around 100 family and friends in attendance. But Garoppolo was decisive. He made really good decisions, and I thought he played a really, really good game. Honestly, probably one of his best games since dating back to that 2019 Super Bowl season. Another key for the game: did the offense finally find a rhythm and wake up? Because going into Chicago, this has been an offense that was lackluster. They weren't able to find any form of rhythm. They were inconsistent and not explosive at all. And they were basically able to do all of that against a pretty solid Chicago Bears defense at Soldier Field, where that Bears defense oftentimes plays really, really well. I also thought that one of my big takeaways from Sunday's win was that Kyle Shanahan, like Jimmy Garoppolo, answered some of the critics as well. A majority of the fan base was calling for Kyle Shanahan to either be fired after that 4-game losing skid or to be on the hot seat. He was in his bag. He called a really good game. I like how he utilized a bunch of different players within that offensive formation. I like the jet sweep calls, the bubble screen calls, all of the motion. And I thought in crucial situations, third downs, money downs in the red zone, Kyle Shanahan called some really, really good plays. I also want to see the continued utilization of Deebo Samuel as well as Brandon Ayuk. Deebo Samuel has arguably been the best wide receiver in the National Football League up to this point this year. Brandon Ayuk, as we've talked about, was in the witness protection program. But when you have Ayuk and Samuel both playing at an elite level, both contributing to this offense, it makes the Niners offense a little bit less predictable and a lot more explosive. Brandon Ayuk, according to me, according to Kyle Shanahan, best game of the season last week. 4 receptions on 7 targets, a couple of them coming on third down conversions for 45 yards, the long one being 23 yards. And then I talk about Deebo Samuel having one of the best years of any offensive player, not just wide receiver, in the NFL this year. He has gotten off to a historic start. No wide receiver in the first 7 games of a season in franchise history has put up more receiving yards than Deebo Samuel. That includes the GOAT, Jerry Rice. That's significant. 44 catches, 819 yards, average yards per game a ridiculous 117, and 5 total touchdowns. He is second in the league in receiving yards behind Cooper Kupp. He has the most 150-yard receiving games in the NFL this season. One of my last keys to the game for the 49ers to pull out a dub against the 7-1 Arizona Cardinals. The pass rush really has to get home, especially if Kyler Murray is playing. If Kyler Murray has time to throw, he's going to slice you up, he's going to dice you up, and then if you do get home on that pass rush, he'll eat you up on the ground. Now, the Niners defensive line against the Kyler Murray running attack in this previous matchup did a great job. He only had 1 rushing yard, and they really bottled him up. He really just made excellent plays down the stretch, which is what great quarterbacks do. But it's going to be a big day for Nick Bosa, DJ Jones, Contavious Street, Eric Armstead to all get home on their pass rushes to sack Kyler Murray and really pressure him throughout the day, especially considering that he might be hobbled coming off that mysterious ankle injury that he suffered in that comeback effort against the Green Bay Packers on Thursday Night Football. This is also going to be a Cardinals team that's coming off their first loss of the season and kind of coming off a mini bye week because they had a couple of extra days to prepare for the Niners because they did play on Thursday Night Football. So before we get out of here on this segment, once again, Niner Gang, if you haven't already done so, predict the score for Sunday's game between San Francisco and Arizona. Get those comments in the comment section right now and give me your score predictions between the Niners and the Cardinals. I think San Francisco can win this game 31-27. I expect it to be high scoring. Right now, San Francisco 2.5-point underdogs. And if you can't watch it or you want to watch it and also have a different form of entertainment, we're going to be doing a watch party for it right here on the channel. Last week, it was litty here on the 49ers Report. We had almost $700 in Super Chats. I whipped out a Halloween mask on Halloween Sunday. I was taking shots of Patron, doing play-by-play, not stumbling on my words because I'm just built different. We'll be going live 4:05 p.m. Eastern, 1:05 p.m. Pacific. Subscribe and join us.